Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome back to another on-the-road video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com. Today, we'll be taking a look at this Samsung electric freestanding range. We will show you how to install your power cord as well as remove and replace your terminal block. To begin this repair, you must first access the back of the unit. Stop. Before beginning any repair, always be sure to disconnect the power to the appliance. It is also recommended to test the outlet for the proper voltage. The tools you will need for this repair are a number 2 Phillips screwdriver and a voltmeter. Now that we have access to the back of the unit, you will need to remove this cover plate that protects your terminal block. Be careful, this metal is extremely sharp. Now the first thing I would do is visually inspect your terminal block. Make sure that nothing is burnt, crisp. A lot of times you'll see one of the legs of power has melted that portion of the terminal block and it could be popping your breaker. All of these are indications that you could need either a new terminal block or new power cord. When you're messing with the terminal block, if something is damaged, I highly recommend replacing the power cord as well. If you get a good visual inspection on there and nothing's wrong, put your meter to volts. Now you want to check between the two legs of power, the L1 and the L2. You should be reading 240 volts right here. Now if you go between L1 and neutral, should be reading 120 volts. Then L2 in neutral, also 120 volts. Your power seems okay. Now let's check the continuity of your power cord. With your power cord unplugged, set your meter to ohms, or I like to use an audible tone. So if we do have continuity going through the actual cord, we should hear a noise like this. So you'll want to test each leg of power. So go between one side and then follow the wire back to where it plugs in on your terminal block. That line has continuity. Just give your plug an actual move or wiggle so that if there is any type of internal breaks, you do find them. That is pretty common on the end of a power cord because they're so stiff. Sometimes the leg will be internally broken. Let's test your next one. This one seems okay. Now you're neutral. This also has continuity, so that's showing us that the power cord is okay, but we'll show you how to replace the terminal block and power cord as a set. First, you want to remove your power cord. There are 3 Phillips screws. They're on each leg of power. Be very careful when you're removing these screws and the nuts that it goes into do like to strip rather easily. Just do your neutral. Slide your power cord out the bottom and remove. Next, you will have 3 screws in similar positions that are holding on your main power lines. Also, be very careful when removing these. These also like to strip rather easily. We'll remove your ground strap. You can also just bend this down, but so you don't cause any damage with the metal, I do highly recommend completely removing it. Next, move your wires out of the way, and you will have 2 Phillips screws that are holding on the terminal block. At this point, I recommend holding onto your terminal block and pulling up while you're removing the screws so it doesn't drop in the casing. And remove. To install your terminal block, first, lift your wiring out of the way. Next, insert 1 screw in the terminal block. Insert it. Make sure you keep it loosened so that you can insert the next one rather easily. Now we will reinstall our ground strap. Next, pull your wiring down. Divide them by color. You'll have red on this side. That's your L2. Put your neutral in the middle. And your L1 on the left side. Reinstall your screws. Now we will reinstall your power cord. Make sure your cord is centered so that you'll have each leg of power on the correct spot, as well as your neutral in the middle. Now slide on your back plate. Replace your top screw. And this will complete your repair. Thank you for watching another quality video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com.